Howdy everybody, Adam here with eTrailer. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Blue Ox BXR2100 Gooseneck connection fifth wheel on our 2013 Dodge Ram 2500. Between the base utilizing the gooseneck ball and the head being able to come apart, that's pretty cool. It being really lightweight is really clutch if you're just struggling getting it in and out or just want to work a little smarter, not harder. I think it's going to be a pretty good option for you, especially with the top. It's just going to prevent those false hookups and those trailer drops. Unlike some of the other fifth wheel kits on our site that uses the hole that your gooseneck ball goes in, this one utilizes the ball to do that. So with the ball in our bed, we drop this down. The ball is right here, and it's going to be compatible with a 2 5/16 inch ball only, so make sure you have that. And this is going to give us about a 4-inch offset backwards, meaning our trailer is now connected here instead of up here, which really helps. We were able to haul our whole entire fifth wheel trailer with a toolbox. It's going to give us a gross trailer capacity of 21,000 pounds and a vertical load limit of 5,000 pounds. If you're looking for a lightweight option that still has a decent amount of capacity, is only about 122 pounds, but it's a 2-piece unit, so you can take it out in 2 different pieces. So it's gonna be a little bit easier on your back and just make it easier to be able to maneuver around by yourself. On the top, we have a funnel-shaped hitch head. So this isn't going to require us to be perfectly lined up. It'll give us a little bit of wiggle room, so if we're a little bit off, it'll just slide in that way. It worked pretty well when we were using it earlier. And also, we have an articulating head, which is gonna give us a little bit of play back and forth just to also help with that connection. And this is a true 360-degree connection. So a lot of the other fifth wheels, you just have this part around here, and you slide into it, and then the latches lock the rest of it. This is one big unit, completely covered in 360 degrees around your kingpin. We're about to load up. All you need to do is pull this little pin right here. It's connected, so you don't have to keep track of it. And then you just pull it out and rotate it a little bit. Now we're ready to back up, line it up, and drop her down. The kit includes a loop plate right here, and that's gonna go on your kingpin before we hook up. It doesn't stay on there too well, but wiggle it around a little bit. She'll stay on there when we drop it down. So now we're lowering down. Notice how we have a little cone shape. This is gonna help us get it in the right spot if it's not perfectly lined up, but Jake lined it up pretty much perfect, so we didn't really need that. But it is nice just in case you wanna load up really quick. So now what we want to do, now that most of that weight is on the truck, we can rotate this back. And then once that's done, all we have to do is just take our pin and put it in this hole right here just to lock that arm into place. You can easily pull the lever from the side of the truck. I'm just here just because I need to be in the shop. So what we need to do here is just take our pin that we put in here first, pull that out, let it go. Then we're gonna pull this out and rotate it just like before. Now we're ready to lift this thing up. And with the head kind of being able to rotate back and forth or tilt back and forth and side to side, it really does help release the pressure whenever you're unloading. The lube plate did its job. So you can see down here, we don't have hardly any scratches or any lubricant on this piece, so it's gonna stay nice and clean. To start the install, we're gonna take these clips off of the 2 pins down at the bottom. So if you come a little bit closer, you'll see we're gonna have 2 little pins here. Just push those through and grab them. This is what's going to secure around our ball. So once we do that, you can look at your 5th wheel hookup. We're gonna have 2 stickers that have a cab on there. It says cab and it has a arrow facing forward. We want that to face towards our cab. And then this little dot right here, this little bolt, is where it's going to go directly on top of our gooseneck ball. So once all that's done, you can sit there and put it into place where it's over top. Just like that. I went ahead and put those 2 pins that we removed back where they were. So now it's underneath the ball, and we can take these pins and put them back. Grab your torque wrench with a 15/16 inch socket on the top, and we need to torque down this top bolt right here to the torque specifications in our instructions. What this is doing is, as we tighten it, the pins underneath that ball, it's going to be pulling up on it to really make a solid connection. Next, we're going to need a 19mm socket, but they want a 12-point socket. So the one right here, the silver one, has a bunch of points on the inside. That's the one we want to use, not your standard socket like this. The reason why we want the 12-point socket is because look at our bolt head here. It's just a square. We don't want to strip that out or anything. So we'll torque this down with our torque wrench to the specs in our instructions. All right. Now we want a 15/16 inch deep well socket to tighten up the jam nut to the specifications in our instructions. Now we're ready to put the head assembly on there. Notice we have 3 different holes right here. They're spaced an inch apart. That's something you may just want to mess with on the first initial setup for your rig. Since this truck is pretty big, I think what we're going to do is go all the way down, but we're going to give you some measurements to see exactly what we can really achieve here in each hole. So we're going to start with the very, very top right here, and we'll take a measurement. In its tallest position from the bed of your truck to the start of our head is going to be 19 inches. In the middle hole, that same measurement is going to be 18 inches. And down in our lowest position, which is what we're going to use today, that same measurement is going to be 17 inches. Once we put that pin where we want it, we can take our little clip on the other side and fasten this down. This right here is going to be our little anti-rattle device to keep this from really shaking around. What we're going to need is 11/16 on one side like this, and then we're going to need a 5/8 wrench on the back to torque it down to spec. And once it's done, we have another jam nut that we want to tighten down as well. And that's going to take all the play out so it's a nice solid unit. If you're looking for a lightweight option to utilize your gooseneck ball in the bed of your Dodge Ram, I think that's going to be a pretty good option for you. And again, this was the Blue Ox BXR2100 Gooseneck Connection 5th wheel on our 2013 Dodge Ram 2500.